My name is Daniel Harris, and until last year, I lived a quiet, predictable life on a 30-acre piece of land that my grandfather bought in 1954. The land had been in our family for generations, passed down like a silent promise. It wasn't fancy, but it was ours. No neighbors, no noise, just open fields, oak trees, and the kind of peace you can't put a price on. But the world doesn't stay peaceful forever. Trouble arrives quietly, usually in the form of someone thinking they are smarter than you. For me, that as someone was the Ridge Valley Homeowners Association. It started with a stranger knocking on my door one morning. A man in a neatly ironed shirt holding a clipboard as if it was a holy scripture. A Mr. Harris, he said with a smile too polished to be real, we're expanding Ridge Valley Estates. You might receive some mail about development approvals. Nothing to worry about. I stared at him. A development? On whose land? Oh, on the parcels next to yours, he replied quickly. Too quickly. Adjust routine notices. He left before I could question more. Something felt wrong. A week later, heavy machinery rolled in. Bulldozers, excavators, trucks. They weren't next to my land. They were on my land. I drove down the dirt path and watched disbelief turn into anger. Workers were marking grid lines, leveling soil, and drilling foundation holes. I ran to the foreman. "Are on private property?" I yelled. He shrugged. "We've got permits from the HOA. They said the land was theirs." I wasn't going to waste breath arguing with a man holding a jackhammer. So I went straight to the county office. That's when the joke revealed itself. The HOA had filed papers claiming abandoned property. They claimed my land had no registered owner because the deed was missing. Convenient, right? But they were wrong. For decades, my grandfather kept the original deed hidden away in a fireproof box, the same box I inherited. I had the deed, the maps, the signatures, everything. But instead of showing it right away, a different idea came to me. A cold, clever idea. Let them build. Let them spend. Let them think they owned it. And when the time was right, I would strike. And so I watched, silently, calmly, even when it made my blood boil. For months, construction went on. 40 homes, then 60, then 75. I saw frames go up, roofs being nailed, trucks delivering appliances, fresh asphalt poured for new roads. They even installed an entry gate, digital security, streetlights, and a fancy sign. Ridge Valley Phase 2. Neighbors started visiting the site with realtors. Some even toured model homes. Everyone believed the HOA owned this land, but every day I kept the deed tucked away like a secret weapon. The HOA president, Leonard Briggs, strutted around like a king. He ordered workers, signed papers, approved budgets, and shook hands with developers. Ew. All with a smug expression that said, "I run this place, and I plan to wipe that smirk off his face." By month 8, all 96 homes were completed. Families were preparing to move in. The HOA prepared a celebration ceremony, a grand opening, cameras, ribbon cutting, balloons. But I had been preparing something even bigger. That week, I filed a legal action in county court: trespassing, fraud, illegal development, property theft, my evidence, a perfectly preserved deed, notarized, time-stamped, verified. When the HOA received the court summons, they panicked. Briggs came to my door for the first time. "You can't do this," he said, voice cracking. "Oh," I replied, "I absolutely can. But families are moving in. Well, they can move out." He looked like his world was collapsing, and I was only getting started. The judge set a hearing for the following Tuesday. The HOA thought they could charm their way out. They brought lawyers, charts, photos, and thick binders. They argued I forged the deed. They claimed I didn't maintain the land. They claimed a public benefit. Then the judge looked at me. "Mr. Harris, do you have proof of ownership?" I opened my bag and pulled out the original deed. The room gasped. The judge examined it carefully. "This is authentic." Briggs' face turned white, and that's where part 1 ends. The courtroom went silent. Even the HOA lawyers froze like statues. Briggs looked like he'd swallowed a cactus. The judge leaned back in her chair and tapped her pen. "Mr. Harris," she said, "this deed shows clear ownership. The HOA owns 6 residential structures on land that legally belongs to you. This is a substantial violation." Substantial violation was an understatement. It was a disaster for them. The HOA lawyer stood. "Your Honor, surely we can negotiate." "Perhaps the court can consider." No, the judge interrupted. Well, your organization knowingly built on private land. You ignored public records. You failed to verify ownership. This is negligence bordering on fraud. Briggs buried his face in his hands. The judge turned to me. Mr. Harris, what remedy are you seeking? I had 3 options. 1. Sell the land to the HOA. 2. Sell or rent the homes individually. 3. Evict everyone and reclaim the property entirely. Everyone waited for my answer. I looked straight at Briggs. Your Honor, I want full control of the property. Every house, every road, every gate, it's all on my land, so it belongs to me. The courtroom erupted. You can't do that, Briggs shouted. Order, the judge yelled, slamming her gavel. The law was clear. Anything built on private land becomes the property of the landowner unless a contract states otherwise. There was no contract. The judge nodded. Legally, Mr. Harris is correct. Briggs looked like someone had pulled the plug on his entire life. His dream project, his empire, gone in one sentence. By afternoon, the ruling was official. I now owned 96 fully built, move-in ready homes. When I walked out of the courtroom, reporters swarmed me. Cameras flashed. Microphones pushed toward my face. Sir, are you really taking possession of all 96 houses? What will happen to the families planning to move in? Did you plan this? I simply said, they built on the wrong land. That night, Briggs resigned. The HOA board members scattered like scared pigeons. Developers threatened to sue them. Buyers demanded refunds. Real estate agents panicked. Meanwhile, I took a quiet drive through the brand new neighborhood that now belonged to me. Streetlights glowed softly. Fresh paint smelled in the air. Lawns were perfectly trimmed. 96 homes, each worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, stood silent, waiting. My land, my houses, my victory. But I wasn't done yet. Within weeks, developers approached me with offers. One company offered $18 million for the entire project. Another wanted a joint venture. A third wanted to turn it into luxury rentals. But I had a better idea. I turned the entire development into a rental community. Affordable, well-managed, peaceful, not controlled by any HOA's wife taught me anything. It's this: never let someone else control what you own. Within 6 months, every one of the 96 homes was rented. The income changed my life completely. I quit my day job, hired a manager, and started traveling, something I never thought I'd do. As for Briggs, Ridge Valley HOA collapsed financially. Lawsuits piled up. Members left. The neighborhood struggled. Their once mighty HOA became a cautionary tale in the county. One day I ran into Briggs at a grocery store. His face showed years of stress packed into months. You ruined my life, he whispered. No, I said calmly. No, I said calmly. You ruined your own life when you stepped onto land that wasn't yours. I walked away. And that was the end of it. Today, I still visit the community sometimes. Kids play on the sidewalks. Families barbecue in driveways. People greet me warmly because I'm not a landlord. I'm the guy who saved them from being trapped under an HOA. And every time I look at those 96 homes, I remember the lesson my grandfather used to say. Land is the only thing they're not making more of. Protect it. He was right. And because I listened, the land and everything built on it remains exactly where it belongs.